I'm Lady Charmaine, and my guest today had everyone singing Praise is What I Do. And now he's back, and he has all of us believing that no matter what we go through, it's working together for our good. And he's here today to talk about the 29th Annual Stellar Awards taking place this Saturday. I want you to help me welcome Mr. Bishop Murphy. Well, we all know you as William Murphy, but we want to announce you as Bishop. Amen.
That makes good. I'm trying to figure out what all these titles and names. That is too much. It's good to hear your voice. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, too. And thank you again for coming on the show. You are giving us such great hits, Bishop. And one of the songs that's jamming for me is Working for My Good. I was listening to, I was in my car and the song came on. And you know how when you're going through something at that moment in your life and you hear a song? Well, I heard the song in a different way and tears started flowing because I was going through something. And I want to know, where did the inspiration for that song for you come from?
Wow. Well, I tell you, this year it's been a tremendous year. I had a lot of milestones this year. Turned 40 this year, put out a new record this year. And I really had a sense of urgency in terms of getting this record out because when we started writing, and actually, to be honest with you, we really didn't start writing in the efforts to record a new CD. God just started giving us these prophetic songs. And I hadn't put out a record in like 2 or 3 years, and we kind of knew it was time to make a record, but we hadn't really taken the time to sit down and say, okay, let's write a record. And then I looked up one day, and we had a record because God had started giving us these prophetic songs during times of worship. And in the circles we run in, it's what's called the Song of the Lord. It's when God gives you this spontaneous song in a moment of worship. And we started singing, and I'll never forget one night, we were coming out of a message, and I wasn't even preaching this night. My state bishop, Stephen Hall, was preaching. And he preached a message out of Romans 8 and 28, and we know all things work together for the good. And so after the message, there was such a residual presence, and we knew that we couldn't just walk away. And I heard the song and just started singing it. And little did we know that this song was, years later, would be a song that would sweep across the country and mean so much to so many people. And I said this to my record label. I said, a word of prophecy out of season is a lie. And so I told them, I got to get this record out because this prophetic song is for this season. And we understand that seasons are not regulated by weather or calendars, but seasons are regulated by revelation. And so what happened to you while you were driving was you finally got the revelation that this is your season and that everything is working together for your good, that God is leaning in your direction. And what happened in that moment when you received that revelation, your season shifted, and that's why that moment in God's presence happened for you. So that was the inspiration. We just, times of prayer and, just times of worship, where we would begin to hear these songs, and we start singing them. There's a song on the record I did called It's Already Getting Better. We were coming out of a moment of prayer, and I was getting ready to pass the mic to Tasha to lead worship. And I said, wait a minute, Tasha, I have the Song of the Lord. And I start singing, it's already getting better. It's already getting easier. And that song has meant so much to so many people. And just the whole collection of prophetic songs is called God Chaser. That's the new record, shameless plug. Go get it on iTunes if you don't have it. But it's this God Chaser record that's been nominated, or actually, the God Chaser record has been nominated for a Grammy, and I've been nominated for Traditional Male Vocalist of the Year. So I'm going to be at the Stellar Awards this year, and wow, can you believe it? Here's the shocker for me. I'm nominated with 3 living legends. The category that I'm in is Traditional Male Vocalist of the Year. And at first I felt a little weird about it because I'm like, oh, my God, I turned 40 and they put me in the old category. But it's all good. It's all good because, listen at this. I'm nominated with my pastor, Bishop Paul Morton, with Rance Allen and John P.T. if that's any indication of what God is going to do in my life and my ministry, I'm good. And so I'm celebrating with my pastor, with one of my spiritual fathers. I'm celebrating with him. And of course, we know that Tasha Cobbs, Break Every Chain, has been nominated for 7 Stellar Awards. Here's what's so special about it. The Stellar Awards is the only nationally televised award show that's dedicated to gospel music. Mm-hmm. It is the only nationally televised show that's committed to the genre that we hold so near and dear to our hearts. And I want to encourage everybody who's listening to make sure that wherever you are between January 18th and March 2nd, that you get somewhere close to a television. Get somewhere close where you can watch and support what is uniquely ours. You know, sometimes, I hate to say it, but sometimes in our community we can be so trifling. And God will give us something that is ours. Now, you know I'm telling the truth. We just trifling sometimes. But we're not going to be trifling in this area. We are going to support gospel music because God has uniquely given it to the African-American community. And I want everybody who's listening to support it. Of course, we know this year we've expanded the influence of the Stellars. Ricky Smiley, Sherry Shepard are going to be our hosts. Ricky, of course, with the daily hip-hop show, and Sherry, of course, with The View. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be, and we're going to actually taking place this weekend, Saturday, January 18th at 7 p.m., and the Up Television Network is going to air it live. Isn't that crazy? On 150 stations in 125 markets across the country, and then it's going to run like January 18th through March 2nd. So I want everybody who's listening, I went out and bought me a Stellar Award suit. I want y'all to see this new suit. As a matter of fact, sis, I went and had me a tuxedo made for the Stellar Award. Y'all pray I win this Stellar Award. I'm going to be upset. I went out and bought this jacket, this tuxedo, and these people don't vote for me. Y'all going to have to pray for me. I'm going to need an ice cream cone or something after that. But I'm just playing. But for my name, on a serious note, for my name to be called at the same moment with Bishop Paul Morton, Rance Allen, and John P. Key is just a tremendous honor. And I'm going to just be so glad to be there. My daughter, Tasha Cobbs, of course, and I was talking to my brother from Chicago, and I just realized something. Tasha served our church, the Dream Center Church of Atlanta, as the pastor of worship for 7 years, and she's nominated for 7 Stellars. If that ain't God, I don't know what it is.
Wow.
It's going to be amazing. And some of the dreamers from Atlanta, we're driving down. So when she gets her award, if you hear somebody hollering out, thank you, that would be somebody from my church. I know they're going to embarrass me, but it's going to be all good because we're celebrating what God has done in and through our ministry, and just to be able to watch Tasha grow over the last 7 or 8 years it's just been a tremendous honor and a privilege and a blessing. And so we're excited about the Stellars. We're declaring at the Dream Center Church of Atlanta that we're coming back with 8 Stellar Awards. As a matter of fact, let me back up, because our music director, that's not true, just this past Sunday, we just elevated him to our pastor of worship. Ernest Vaughn is actually nominated as the producer of the new Full Gospel record. It's nominated twice. So we're actually going to come back to the Dream Center Church of Atlanta with 10 Stellar Awards. Between the 3 of us, I'm so excited about it. Y'all got to go to the Up Television Network and watch this, because I promise you, it's going to be some good old Baptist shouting going on. I'm gonna need one of those nurses with the cape. You know, those nurses with the cape and like the white stick bottom and the hat. Somebody please wear your nurse's outfit, because I'm going to need one at the Stellars. It's just going to be a tremendous time. And, of course, the Up Network, the Up Television Network, on DirecTV is channel 338. On the Dish Network is channel 188. Or you can check out your local cable network, or go to uptv.com. And you click Get Up TV, and you'll be able to find where you can watch the Stellar Awards. We want to get behind the 29th show, and we want to support it as a community like we've never supported it before. This is important to our community. This is something, gospel music, of course, we know people glean from gospel music. Some folks say they steal from gospel music, but of course, music it's the universal language, and people glean from gospel music all around the world. We don't want to be asleep while the Stellar Award show is on. So I want you to let's support what is uniquely ours. Let's get on the internet. Let's talk about it. Let's tweet about it. Let's update our Facebook status and talk about the Stellar Awards. Let's get on Instagram. Let's take some pictures of the television. Take a selfie watching the Stellars. Do whatever you have to do. But we want to blow up social media. We want to blow up the internet talking about the 29th annual Stellar Gospel Music Awards. And I want y'all to tell everybody, I'm only nominated for one award, but I want y'all to blow it up like I'm nominated for 10. Not blow it up like I'm Ty Tribbett, who's nominated for 8. Which he's my brother, so if he's nominated, I'm nominated. I might just walk up on the stage with him every time he gets one and pray the security doesn't get me. But it's all good. I'm excited about this year's show. It's going to be amazing, and the people of God are going to be blessed. And what I'm even more excited about is an opportunity to take the gospel of Jesus Christ around the world by way of music. I'm believing that as we worship God on that night, even though it's a television show and we've got restrictions relative to time and things of that sort, but I'm believing, God, that as we worship God that night, that the power of God is going to come through the television, it's going to come through the computer screen, and people's lives are going to be blessed, and people are going to be encouraged, because that's what this gospel music is really all about. And so I appreciate you, sis, giving me time to talk about my new tuxedo, and y'all have to tweet me and tell me if it was all right, if I did okay, and if it looks nice. So we're excited about being in Nashville this weekend.
And I can tell you are, and I just want to let people know, if you're anywhere in Nashville or around Nashville or plan on going, make sure you get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com and also at TheStellarAwards.com. And make sure you follow all the festivities on Facebook at Stellar Awards, and then right there on Twitter at The Stellar Awards. And Pastor Murphy, I really enjoyed you. I cannot wait to see that Stella suit, because I know it's going to be pretty stellar.
Come on here.
I can't wait to see that. And Lord, I pray they call your name, because I got to see your reaction.
We got to take a picture and put it on Instagram so the States can see it.
Hey, man, because I want to see it myself. And I just wanted to ask you, because you brought it up, because I was going to ask you about it. How proud are you of Tasha Cobbs, because she attends your church, and to see, like you said, your daughter, one of your babies. Before we go, I just want to just hear from you how proud you are of her.
I'm really at a loss for words. Just, our church is 8 years old. A lot of people don't know this. We started our church this Sunday. Will actually be. This is amazing what God has done. This coming Sunday will be 8 years that our church has been alive. Mm-hmm. And 8 years ago, we had our initial service. There were about maybe 350 people there, people everywhere standing around the walls, and I just knew, oh my God, 350 people here, at least 100 people are going to join this church. I preach my little heart out. I'm just sweating my little suit out. I had me a new suit for that too, sis. Got me a new jacket for the new church. And one person joined my church. And I tell you, my little feelings were so hurt. I didn't tell nobody that day. I went home a little dejected that day and thought like, wow, God, I know I heard from you, and I know I'm supposed to start this church, and only one person joined. Mm-hmm. Well, 8 years later, that one person is Tasha Cobbs.
Yeah.
And so how proud could our entire church be? And this is something that has happened, that God has done for our entire church. It's not just because Tasha, of course, served us 7 years as the pastor of worship. And then, of course, made a transition to full-time ministry, and we support that, and we pray for her, and we cover her and Nika as they travel around the world ministering the gospel. And so our entire church is involved in this celebration, and some of the dreamers are driving down. We're going to be there. And whatever happens, we're going to be there celebrating, and we've embraced this. This is one of the assignments of our church, is to raise up ministers of worship and to send them to the nations. And so for Tasha to be the first baby that left the house, years ago I told her, or this is probably a year or so ago now, and we were kind of going through this transition of her coming off staff and going on the road full time, and just the anxiety of that transition. And I said to her, I said, Toddy, don't nobody else call her that. That's what I call her. I said, parents don't raise their children for them to go live in the basement. Mm-hmm. And so we're just celebrating what God has done, and how God has used our church, and how God has used our ministry to birth Tasha Cobb's ministry. And literally, she's gone around the world, and she's going to come home Sunday with 7 Stellar Awards, and we're going to shout and dance and cry and love God and prepare to do what God has called us to do next. So I'm just going to be a proud papa. I promise you, I'm going to need a super nurse. I'm going to need a nurse for Kate and about 3 boxes because oh my God. But we're going to celebrate and just love on God. The first line in my new single is called It's Working. The first line says, and God gave me these words, I haven't been perfect, but I have been faithful. And we're going to see the fruits of faithfulness this weekend at the Stellar Awards, as Tasha's nominated for 7. I'm nominated for 1. I serve as the Bishop of Music for the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship. Our record is nominated for 2. Our new pastor of worship is the producer of that Full Gospel record. So there's a possibility that Sunday morning I could stand up at our south location at 10, our north location at 12, and announce to our church that between the 3 of us, we've come home with 10 Stellar Awards. And that is going to be absolutely amazing. And so to God be the glory for the things that He has done. It's going to be an amazing weekend. And, of course, when we get into Nashville, we're going to get us some White Castles first. And then we're going on to the Stellar Awards, and we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time.
Well, Pastor, I want to thank you so much for sharing your testimony regarding Tasha and how and how you just said, that one joined the church. She's that one, and then she's the first one to leave. And it's amazing how this weekend, what God is doing in your ministry in regards to numbers, how you're celebrating 8 years on Sunday. Tasha nominated 7 times, plus your 1 equals 8. And it's just really amazing just what God is doing and in the completion of your ministry. And I definitely look forward to having you back. And I want to see y'all win all the Stellars, bring home all 10.
Yeah, well, we believe God's going to do it, and we appreciate you again playing our music. We appreciate you supporting our ministry. Without you guys' support, of course, nobody would know what God is doing. And so we thank God for you so much, and hopefully we get a chance to get our selfie this weekend at the Stellar Awards. So we love you so much, and we appreciate you, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Love you too, Bishop. Thank you.